Welcome to the Money Pig podcast, presented by Goodwin Investment Advisory, where our mission is to lead you to financial pig, peace, independence, and generosity. I'm your host, Tim Goodwin. Hey, we are so excited today. Today we have a special guest, the one and only Reid Trego.
Welcome back to the Money Pig podcast, brought to you by Goodwin Investment Advisory.
Why is that voice so familiar?
Oh, gosh, it's good to be back here.
I know. And now you're on camera.
I know.
Yeah.
This is why we're changing gears, folks. I have a face for podcasting.
You have a face for audio only. Hey, we think you're beautiful, Reid, and we're super excited to have you. So there's a big transition going on. Mm-hmm. We are now making the Money Pig video, adding video to it. But we're also kind of losing you a little bit in this process. Mm-hmm. You've got this new awesome career that's kind of taken up a significant chunk
of my time,
of your available podcast recording time.
Yeah.
And so we wanted to have you here, and I wanted to finally flip the script and interview you and let the audience get to know you more. I know a lot of people love listening to the Money Pig. I was at a football game on Friday and somebody stopped by and was like, oh my gosh, we love listening to the Money Pig. I got my whole staff listening to it. So
good.
Hey guys, this is what Reid looks like, the beautiful Reid. So, hey, I've got a question for you.
Okay.
Have you been in a Tesla yet? Like a Tesla truck? Have you been in the Cybertruck?
No.
You haven't been in the Cybertruck yet?
No.
Have you heard that it doesn't really have like that new car smell?
No.
It's more of like a Elon Musk.
I knew it. I knew this was coming. This is
what?
This is
Did
why.
You get it? Musk.
Yeah. Oh, I get it.
Elon Musk.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have to explain that one.
No. Every once in a while, you run a dad joke by me.
Okay.
I need a day or two to process.
Is that one that was quicker?
That one was faster. Yeah.
All right. I'm glad we brought it down to your level. Anyway, before we lose the audience that's barely hanging on right now for my quality entertainment. So,
it was great to see you. I'll see you next time.
I just thought it'd be so cool to bring you here today and to unpack some of the planning that you do. So we're retirement planners by trade. I love all things planning. And you and your wife, Christy, who also works here, love to get together and do some planning. So that's what do you call that planning exactly?
Well, it's our world domination plan.
Your world domination planning?
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Whose world are we dominating?
Our own.
Your own world? How's that going for you so far?
Our house. Periodically it's working and periodically it doesn't.
Yeah.
We're like everybody else.
Okay.
We just
But you're intentional about it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you guys have some fun around it. So before I break into that, I just wanted to say, I am grateful for all the Tregoisms that I live by, that I picked up from you over the years. Okay. So I'll share some of my favorites. One of my favorites that I'm working on a lot this year is to not shit on myself.
No one wants to be shit upon.
No one wants to be shit upon.
You shouldn't shit on yourself or other people.
Or anybody else, right? Yeah, it stinks. So it's actually quite challenging. Usually trying to use the word like could or can or hopefully. Occasionally I'll let a shit out, but it's amazing how many times I was saying shit throughout the day.
Yeah.
It's
I learned
it's
that
a cuss word now. I gotta put a quarter in the jar.
I learned that from a woman named Wendy Kinney, who ran a company called Power Court, sort of like a networking group. Probably 18, 20 years ago, I met her. I remember she said that. So I stole it.
I like it.
We did pretty much everything.
I've stolen it from you. Yeah. I hope people steal it from me. So I think it's a much better way to live. One of the other things, I'll get real worked up, when something happens, and I'll be telling you about it or I'll be telling your wife about it. And then you guys go and you listen, you're all empathetic and you pretend to be interested in my story. And then you probably are, but you guys, you'll stop and you'll say, well, is that rare and uncharacteristic? Yeah. I'm like, yeah, that is rare and uncharacteristic. Yeah. And you're like, yeah, don't worry so much about rare and uncharacteristic stuff. Is it?
Yeah. I don't know where
that's so freeing. Yeah, that's so helpful.
Came from, but I always remember owning small businesses that, if weird stuff would happen every once in a while.
Right.
And you're like, I'm not going to make a new process or solve a problem that happened once over 6 years.
Right.
So,
why make a policy or procedure for this thing that happens once? Yeah.
Same with children's behavior. If it's rare and uncharacteristic, then it's forgivable. Or employees' behavior, same thing. But if it's common and expected, then we have to have some
we got to address it. Yeah. The other one is real quick. It's like, I'll get overwhelmed about all these things I'm trying to do and commitments and the kids and, and then I always love this, like just really quick little comic relief of, well, it's just hard to fit in all the fun.
It's hard to fit in all the fun. It really is.
And you and me both try our hardest, don't we, to fit in as much fun as possible.
Yes. And like literally this week, I am realizing that I have a vacation next week and I have a lot to fit in before then. And when I get back, there'll be a ton of stuff. So it's hard to fit in all the fun.
It's a full life.
But it's totally worth it.
Yes. Yeah. It is worth it.
Do you have any others?
You have one that you want? Let me hear it. Let's hear it.
But I want to qualify it a little bit.
Okay. All right.
If you take this wrong, it's going to, it comes across wrong. But like the motto is procrastination pays. Like there is a bonus with procrastination.
Tell us about this.
Well, I mean, in reality, if you have a stack of stuff, you can figure out how actually important it is if you put it off to the side and don't deal with it. There's going to be some of that's going to have repercussions.
Or like, we got to find where was that bill or that check or that,
but some of it is just
repossession
frivolous.
letter.
Repo letter. But some of it's frivolous.
Right.
And so really in the procrastination pays mental framework, it's like, maybe don't worry about things. Cross that bridge when you get to it a little bit more.
That makes sense too.
We worry about so much stuff
what it is.
That never comes true.
We like work ourselves up about how important or urgent it is. And you're like, if you set it aside, it'll kind of prioritize itself. That's good. A lot of these comments are about like kind of less stress.
Prioritizing.
Yeah.
And this actually happened the other night. So I get this little toy car that it starts somewhat regularly, but I'm not always.
When you say toy car, it's a toy car you can drive. We're not talking about a Matchbox toy car. Okay. All right.
Little, to be clear. It's a toy to me. No, it's real. And we were out to dinner and I had driven it and I found myself at dinner going, I hope it starts when I'm ready to go home. Mm-hmm. And I found myself worrying. And then I thought to myself, I am not enjoying dinner.
Oh yeah.
I don't need to worry about this right now. I'll worry about it when I go out there and it doesn't start. And it started fine. I didn't have to worry about anything. So
there you go. Just wait. Figure it out.
You can
later.
edit that out if you want.
You can always just take Uber or Lyft or walk home.
Yeah.
Well, all right. So let's dive in. So these are the Tregoisms. Love them. There's more, but I love being around you guys and picking up on these things that they've really helped me in my life, my family, business. So let's talk about y'all's planning because you guys get away together. How often do you and Christy, your wife, go away to work on plans?
Our intent is quarterly.
Okay.
Believe it or not.
That's what you shoot for.
At the end of every quarter, a little bit bigger trip, usually not big. I mean, Greenville, South Carolina at the end of the year.
Yeah. That's a fun place. Shout out to the Greenville, South Carolina. There's probably so many of them listening right now.
Well, yeah. We love your Greenvillians. They're all out there.
We love them.
Good to see you. The thing, like this all started and here, first of all, this whole intentional world domination planning thing.
Yes.
If I describe this, you're going to think that this is the absolute perfect family in the world. We've never made a mistake and everything is turning out just perfectly, which is completely untrue. We are inconsistent, just like everybody else. We make all kinds of errors. Things do not go right all the time. So
I think what sets you guys apart though is the intent, like the intentionality to get together. And then you guys track it. You track some things. So even though the perfection's not there, taking the time to really think like, hey, we didn't hit the home run every time, but we got on base. We got a base run it. You know what I mean? So walk us through what that planning looks like. What do you guys, I know you go to a cool place and you have some fun, but when you sit down for the planning, what does that look like?
So let me back up just a little bit because this kind of started in some form when the kids were little. And we had to figure out how to get them interested in sitting down to talk with us about like their week, maybe do some meal planning for the week or whatever. So on Sundays, we did this thing. We decided we could create an incentive of ice cream.
Oh yeah.
To get them to sit down.
Great incentive.
And so we called it Sunday Sundays.
Love it.
And then at some point along there, maybe middle school somewhere, I went to the little embroidery shop and I had these little hats made.
Sunday Spirit Trego family.
Yeah.
Love it.
So we all have hats that are, and my son's he has the yellow one. They were different colors, red, green, blue, yellow, whatever. He has the yellow one. He is literally at UGA and he wears the thing around on campus.
He's proud, man. Nobody else has got that hat, funny. That yellow hat.
Yes. But also it's hilariously funny. And I just, I want to just read this because I asked them this morning. I was like, hey, what do you guys remember us talking about at these Sunday conversations?
Okay.
All right. And our daughter answered, oh my gosh, I talk about Sundays all the time. It's one of my favorite things we did.
Oh my gosh.
We talked about good things from the prior week, goals for the upcoming week, and meal plan for sure. Isn't that cool?
Wow.
And she's 25. And this was a long time ago.
Yeah.
So totally
I
awesome.
remember when y'all had Sundays.
And then our son, he also, the one you wearing the hat around UGA, he answered and he said, just really enjoyed catching up, hearing what everybody else cared about and what they were doing for the week. So that worked. And we would miss weeks. We would screw it up, of course. But then as the kids got older, they weren't even home anymore, right? And then they move out. And then that's when Christy and I got really intentional. And other things happened. You had COVID. We had a business that failed right before COVID. That made us more financially intentional.
Yeah,
and
sensitive to that.
Yep. And so that all happened. And we just really started these. Well, I think the kids were coming home from college like around Christmas. And we were like, they're home for an entire month. Maybe we should go away for a few days.
That's how these quarterly retreats.
I think so.
Thanks for coming home, kids. Yeah.
You can take care of everything while we're gone. This is going to be great. Yep.
Free house sitters.
Yeah.
All right. So, man, that's an incredible takeaway for families. Yep. And y'all did that, Sunday over dinner or something? Start with dessert, or did you kind of just,
I don't
whenever
remember
dessert
that much
was,
detail.
that's when you guys would go over this stuff?
Yeah, it was probably after dinner.
And so, real quick, it is like, what were the good things that happened?
Yeah.
Right.
The menu plan, their activities for the week.
Okay, cool.
So we knew what was happening.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And so now what it came to is we decided what we discussed at these quarterly offsites, annual offsite is like the F's.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Walk us through the F's.
Fun.
Yeah.
Finances. House. That's not one. Fitness.
Fitness. Yeah.
Faith. Family. And then
I know which one's coming. Travel with friends and family.
It's travel with friends and family, but it needs to start with F. So it's travel. But yeah. So we have we measure stuff around all these things. You guys
literally have scores related to
have scores.
Those.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
I keep track of my Delta Sky Miles just because I want to see how many Sky Miles I have.
That's
phenomenal. Know we have a target because we have a plan to go to Australia in 2 years. And so
for what? What's so important? What's happening in Australia in 2 years?
Like tennis tournament.
A US Open or something?
Yeah. Australian Open.
Open. Dang.
I know.
That'll be awesome.
That's our plan. But
I love that long-term goal. Give some examples of some metrics in each of the success.
Yeah. So in fun, it's just kind of goals to get to states. How many states have you been to?
National parks.
That could be national parks is totally another one. New countries, I'm checking off one next week.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah, I know.
All right. Which new country are you checking
Netherlands. Netherlands.
Awesome.
Going to land in Copenhagen, Denmark too, but I don't count it if I don't get out of the airport.
Okay. Yeah, that's probably fair.
Yeah. In finances, we use YNAB, youneedabudget.com. You can hear a previous podcast episode about that.
With Alicia.
Really good, by the way. But that allows you to track your days of money, like how long it takes for a dollar to come into your budget before it has to leave. And I think that's a healthy metric for us.
That's what you're tracking, the days
of money
in the YNAB app.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Is that the same as age of money?
Maybe it is.
Maybe
it's age of money.
I don't know. I used YNAB for a while and it was great. I just
I love YNAB. Yeah. So maybe it is age of, I don't know what it is. Sorry, YNAB. It's something. It's in the reports tab. We keep track of, we're saving money for a wedding. So we track, we don't have one specifically. We just think there could be one of the two.
Probable. That's probable.
So we're tracking for that. House projects. We track for house projects. We track fitness. So we weigh in.
Oh, you're actually tracking your weight?
Yeah, but it's not an actual weigh in. It's just, hey, are you on track?
Nice.
So we have an end of year goal.
Okay.
And then we check in quarterly on it. But we really ideally meet about weekly. Faith, just if we're engaged with our small group and church.
Awesome.
Family, we have to be intentional about getting together with our kids for stuff now.
Right.
They're not home.
jobs and school and get busy. Yeah. Got their own lives.
Yeah. So that's what we do.
What about travel?
Travel? Well, I guess that would be under that fun states and national parks and countries.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah. It's been really fun. And I will tell you, it does create connection with us, especially as we get older. You know, you see a lot of people that
that's true. Drift
apart,
apart,
a long time,
roommates.
Drift apart. Man, we've got missions all over the place here of goals we want to accomplish, and they're not big goals. They're, hey, can we add another state to the list, or something like that?
Yeah. Now, are there any particular celebrations, or do you guys? How often are you adding new scores, or are these pretty consistent?
Adding new scores, like
a new thing to measure, like something new under fun.
That's what we do.
I'm calling it a score, but
at the annual getaway.
Oh, there's an annual and there's quarterlies.
Right.
Very good.
That's
I like this.
The annual one was the one that arose when the kids.
I don't even know if most companies are run this well organized, so I'm pretty impressed.
Well, we stole a lot of this from EOS.
Yes. What is EOS?
Entrepreneurs Operating System.
We love that around here.
Used in a couple businesses, but you guys for sure.
Right.
And since my wife is kind of makes sure you stay on track with
absolutely.
It, right? I think that's her job.
The
I don't know
EOS master. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And so we thought it was a good idea to have that. So
I love it. I love how you applied it.
I know.
Is there a mission or a vision or anything for the family that's tied into this?
We have core values.
What?
They're on there as well.
Okay.
That's ridiculous. We have a 3-year plan, 1-year plan.
I love it. That's so fantastic.
It's ridiculous.
It's wonderful. It's intentionality. You know?
It is. And we mess it up.
Yeah. You got to have permission for that.
You can. Yeah.
You got to, it's like you like to cruise. I like to cruise. You know, there's that concept of you board the boat, you get that cocktail, and you walk to the front. You walk to is that the bow?
That would be.
Is that right? The bow? Yeah, the bow of the boat. And, you see the ocean, you see the sky, and then you feel the boat maybe kind of move. Okay, we're moving. You're still hanging out with your friends or whatever. Your drink gets dry. Maybe you go get another one, but you don't really know how far you've gone because in front of you, it's still the sky meets the ocean. It's still the horizon.
Yeah.
It's still the horizon. So time has gone by, but you don't know how much progress you've made until you go to the back of the boat, right? And you look, is that the stern? Yeah. Stern. Okay. Yeah.
Doing
nailed
great.
it. And you're like, oh man, that land is getting really small. And I think that's a really great illustration. I remind myself of it because if I keep looking in front of me, it's like perfection. Like I want to nail everything perfectly, whatever we planned, but I got to take some time to be intentional and look back and go, well, we've made a lot of progress.
Yeah.
We do that as a team on Mondays. We all meet together. We go over last week's, it's called positive focus, but basically the accomplishments of the last week. And then you set criticals for this week. So I don't think, to me, perfection isn't a great goal. We're always going to fall in the gap if we think we're trying to be perfect. The goal is that progress, right?
Yeah. What book? I read a book recently. I don't remember who. He was saying it's not Atomic Habits, or maybe it is, but he was saying when you start a new, routine, it's not day 1 that's so important. It's day 2. Because when you miss day 2, we all think we've failed. Maybe it was Atomic Habits.
Yeah, that sounds like a concept around there.
Yeah. So just got to pick yourself back up.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us and doing all this.
While I'm here,
go ahead.
Can now that it's video and everything, can you give me some guarantees on market performance for this year?
For sure. I can guarantee that it will be volatile.
Oh, okay,
it'll go up and it'll go down.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Outcomes.
So,
no.
I think your outcomes are better if you use a financial advisor, but
you've been fine for me.
Yeah, it's worked out so far. So one of the things that I love to do with ending the pod is to talk about gratitude. So think about something maybe that you are grateful for that you'd like to share.
Gosh, there's a lot. Between these friends that we're going on this trip with, coming up, really,
having
really
friends
dear
to travel with,
really fun.
Wow.
Yep. And I'm thankful also for this team of people that I'm working with at this new career I have, this job I have.
Yeah.
Because I'm getting to do something that I totally love, advising small business owners. That's awesome. A bunch of really good people, and I'm having a blast. I'm traveling a little more than I probably want to, but really, honestly, it's not even that bad because
you're enjoying the people you work with.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
I would say that I'm grateful for boats and lakes. Got to spend a really great weekend on the lake and on the boats. And it's fun to be out there in the water when the weather's nice and with friends. Have you ever wake surfed before?
No.
So fun. Did some wake surfing. Pastor Prime on that one. What do you got there? You got some shades you want to show us?
You know, we were thinking like the money pig. I'm going to miss the blinged out pig.
Notorious. P-I-G right here. Yeah.
And so it was just really cool because back when I was doing the podcast, I would like wear these sunglasses in. And
so the audio only podcast,
this is
nobody could see.
I know.
This is where it started right here, ladies and gentlemen.
This is really where I think Angela got the idea for the.
That's awesome.
Pig.
Well, see, we'll have him here to remind us of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're grateful for you.
Pig.
Thank you for getting the money pig off the ground.
Yeah.
And man, we're going to continue in your legacy.
I hope I get to come back sometime.
Man, I hope so too.
Jeez, I probably have something.
Talk about what other planning and travel's been going on.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, and we're super excited to have you. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's been fun.
See you. Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to the Money Pig Podcast. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. To stay updated on new episodes, be sure to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. If you found value in today's discussion, we'd greatly appreciate it if you could leave a rating and review. If you have any questions about the topics we covered, feel free to visit us at goodwininvestment.com and reach out. This episode is produced by evance.net. This podcast is provided for informational purposes only and should not be considered as investment advice, a solicitation to buy or sell any financial products, securities, digital assets, or other investment vehicles, nor as a basis for making any financial decisions. Goodwin Investment Advisory is a registered investment advisor with the SEC, CRD number 131193. Please note that the host and or guests may personally own securities, digital assets, or other investments mentioned in this podcast. Investments carry risk and are not guaranteed unless stated otherwise. We strongly recommend consulting with a qualified financial advisor, tax professional, insurance professional, and/or legal professional before implementing any strategies discussed in this episode. Lastly, past performance is not indicative of future results.